So we begin our Sloka today, chapter 5, Sloka 29. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Yeah, you can recite after me. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokamaheeshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantimrichhati. Word-to-word meaning and translation by His Grace Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Bhoktaram, the beneficiary. Yajna, of sacrifices. Tapasam, and penances and austerities. Sarvaloka, of all planets and the demigods thereof. Maha Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Suhridam, the benefactor. Sarva, of all. Bhutana, the living entities. Gnatva, thus knowing. Mam, me. Shantim, relief from material pangs. Richati, one achieves. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities,
all living
all living
entities
entities
attains peace
attains
attain
peace
peace
from the pangs of
from the pangs of
from the pangs of
material miseries.
material
material
miseries.
miseries.
Here he says that the conditioned souls which are under the clutches of illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. But they do not know the formula for peace. So here in this shloka, Krishna is explaining about the peace formula. That is how to attain real peace. So he says, those who know me as these three will attain peace. Now, what are those three? He is describing himself as Bhokta, the supreme enjoyer, the beneficiary in all human activities of all the sacrifices. So, what are the human activities? Humans are supposed to perform the sacrifices, austerities, penances. So, here he says, of all the sacrifices, sacrifices are usually done by karma kandis or the karma yogis. And of all the austerities that are done by the jnanis, the penances that are done by the Ashtanga yogis, all are trying to satisfy Krishna only. So here he says, whatever activities you are doing, the beneficiary is me, directly or indirectly. Even if you are doing it to the demigods, finally it is offered to Krishna only. Even the sacrificial fire itself is mouth of Vishnu. So the jivas are in the misconception that they are the enjoyers. Actually, the supreme enjoyer is one and only one, that is Lord Krishna himself. So this is the first point. If people know Krishna as the supreme enjoyer. The second is Sarva Loka Maheshwara, means he is the supreme controller of all the lokas. The lokas, he means um, everything. Okay, the planets and even the demigods also. Not only our planet, even the demigods are included in that. So the supreme controller of all the lokas. It is said Asama Urdhva, they call Krishna, okay? That means no one is equal or greater than him. So actually the Jivatmas want to control. Hence, they get anxiety, stress, frustration. But if one is, accepting the Supreme Lord, then one can become peaceful. So the Jivatma is supposed to serve the Lord and not to master it and not to become the controller. So that's where the anxiety begins. The moment he accepts Krishna as the supreme controller and he does not play the role of someone else, the Jivatma will be at peace. The third point here is Suhridam, means the real friend, eternal well-wisher. So Krishna here is telling that I am the eternal well-wisher of all living entities, not only the humans, each and every jiva. So here again he includes even the demigods. So he is the eternal well-wisher because he is the only one who accompanies each and every living entity when they are transmigrating from one body to other. See how merciful the Lord is. In the form of Paramatma, he is with you. He accompanies you everywhere, constantly guiding at each step, with each body, not only in this lifetime, life after life. So he guides each and every living entity lifetime after lifetime. And then he even comes to perform pastimes to attract the jivas to him. He takes incarnations to reclaim the jivas, or he sends his associates. So in either way, he actually is our eternal well-wisher because he is putting in efforts to attract these jivas and somehow motivate or help them to come back to him. I'll just read the last line. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. Means what? We have to understand that Krishna is the supreme predominator and the Jivatmas are his subordinates. So, what are the 3 points? One who understands that Krishna is the supreme, he is the supreme controller of all the lokas, he is the supreme enjoyer, and he is our eternal well wisher. And we are all his subordinates. Now, that gives internal peace. So, fifth chapter is actually a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, which is also called as Karma Yoga. Now, how Karma Yoga can give liberation is what we understood. That is to work with complete knowledge of the Lord, the Supreme Lord being the predominator, to understand one's relationship with Krishna, and perfection of Krishna consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna. Now, the pure soul is the eternal servant of Krishna. Just because it comes in contact with Maya due to some desire to lord over the material nature, it enters into this cycle of sufferings. And it has to work in terms of material necessities. We also learned in this that the direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and that is the highest perfection of life. Jnana Yoga is a path leading to Bhakti Yoga. And then we have this Ashtanga Yoga, the eightfold yoga mystics, which is also practiced by Krishna consciousness. So actually Ashtanga Yoga has got 8 limbs, which is the practice of Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So Prabhupada says all these 8 can actually be practiced by every person who is doing devotional service. So it automatically comes. So this is the summary of chapter 5. That's why this shloka is called the peace formula. Yeah, so we come back to the shloka. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam
Bhoktaram yajnatapasam
sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam Jnatva mam shanti pritchati Bhoktaram yajna tapasam
yajnatapasam
Sarvaloka maheshwaram
sarvalokamaheshwaram
Suhridam sarvabhutanam Jnatva mam shanti mritchati
Jnatva mam shantim